What's up, guys? Today we're going over the corrective measure. I farmed out all the log weapons the first week of this episode. I said by the time it gets around again, hopefully I'll get to a few more of these weapons to give out my go-to rolls on them. And the corrective measure is not only probably the best legendary machine gun in the game, and if not of all time, right now, due to the artifact, it just simply is straight up an exotic. It just is that good. So in this video, we're going to be going over all the rolls I think are worth getting on this weapon and why it is that good. So starting off, the corrective measure is now a 600 RPM void machine gun. I'm not sure why they changed it to 600, and I'm not sure if they said why they did, but it's definitely appreciated. 600s are by far the best LMGs in the game. They feel better than 450s, and 900s you just chew through all of your ammo, and they're really good for DPS, but not good for really much else. So it being a 600 now is just great. So we jump into the perks. Actually, I want to start off with the right column because it's a lot more simple. And there's really only two perks that I think are worth mentioning. The first one being Killing Tally. Killing Tally will be a damage buff up to 3 stacks, 10, 20, and 30%. And it will stay until you stow or reload the weapon. And with this being a machine gun with a very big mag, with mine I have 91, you use the origin trait and use your super, that'll double to 182. So obviously you're gonna have Killing Tally for quite a long time with this weapon. And just needing 3 kills to get to times 3, obviously very easy. And that makes the other damage perks more or less not relevant on this weapon. You do have a Drone Junkie, which is 33%, then you have Element of Honing, which can go up to 35, then you have One for All, which is also 35. But with just the ease of getting Killing Tally and maintaining it, it's just overall the better perk. And then we have Withering Gaze or Demoralize, both of which will apply Void Weaken. And Demoralize is just straight up better for a machine gun than Withering Gaze. Obviously, you don't want just to aim down sights for a few seconds to then just apply the Void Weaken with LMG, when you could just get Precision Final Blows and cause nearby targets to become weakened with Demoralize. And I think that perk would work really well moving it into the left column with Destabilizing Rounds. And with that, you would get Volatile from Destabilizing and the Void Weaken from Demoralize, and have like a great just void debuff word weapon that can apply both to all the things nearby whenever you get final blows. And I think that would be a great role for future seasons once we no longer have access to this artifact. So moving into the left column, obviously as we just started with, Destabilizing Rounds is probably going to be the best overall going forward for this weapon. That combined with Killing Tally will be probably the most go-to role on this weapon, but definitely not the only go-to role. I think you can make a case for most of left column perks. Obviously, we're not going to talk about Dynamic Sway Reduction in PvE. And then the other two that I would kind of skip over is going to be Rewind Rounds and Subsistence. And the reason I would skip over those on a machine gun is because this weapon has Demolitionist. And anytime there's demo on a machine gun, you're going to easily be able to get your full grenade back before you have to reload with this weapon. And Rewind and Subsistence, all they do is help you avoid reloading, right? Well, Demo can also do that by using your grenade, but also help you get your grenade back. So in my opinion, it's just always straight up a better perk, and there's no reason to use the other two over Demo. And once again, I would pair Demo with Killing Tally, and that is one of my favorite roles this season, which we'll talk about later in the video. And other than Destabilizing Rounds, you could also go with Firefly, another explosion perk. While I do think the update to Destabilizing Rounds just makes it better than Firefly for almost every situation, it's not like Firefly is useless. The damage of Firefly will get buffed by Killing Tally, and Firefly also gives reload speed, so it's not too bad. So that is definitely a role that you could be looking for. I think most would just rather use Destabilizing though. And that leaves me with the final combination, which will be Redirection plus Killing Tally. With the rework to Redirection, this perk is very, very good now, and I think it makes a lot of sense on a machine gun, where when you hit a red bar, you'll get 2 stacks of Redirection up to times 30. And with Enhance, every time you hit a major mini boss champion boss, it will take 2 stacks of the buff, but be double damage. So that combined with the 30% of Killing Tally will be quite a large buff to the weapon. And obviously with it being a machine gun, you should be able to build up to 30 stacks very quickly and have those 15 double damage bullets ready when you get to the next high health target. So that could be a really good role for situations where you don't need as great of like group AoE accuracy. Maybe there's more majors and things like that. So overall, recapping the roles I want on this weapon. First will be destabilizing plus demoralize for the true all-around void weapon. And then all of the killing tally roles. The most important, I think, will be destabilizing. Second most important, demo. And then redirection and firefly for those off-case scenarios where that could be pretty cool. And just all of those roles alone already makes it one of the best machine guns in the game, but why it's truly an exotic this season is due to the artifact. So one of the roles I mentioned that would be good going forward, destabilizing plus demoralize for the volatile and the void weaken, we can get both effects just from the artifact. Volatile rounds from volatile marksman with the rapid void weapon final blows or precision hits, to ready volatile rounds for the corrective measure, and then the boost where we'll get our class ability back very quickly. Then we have Maligned Harvest, where rapidly applying volatile will cause your next instance of void weapon damage to create a weakening burst, so basically the effect of demoralize. And we could also use Void Flux if we want, for another way to spread more void weaken. So through our artifact, we can get the effects of both destabilizing plus demoralize. So this season, we can use a role with 2 other perks, for example, I love demo plus killing tally, and effectively have 4 perks active on this weapon at all times. We have demo, killing tally, destabilizing, and demoralize through this artifact. And that is why this weapon is just like truly an exotic right now, probably the best machine gun in the entire game. Also from the artifact, machine guns have some help from hold the line to help reload and stability and get health back on kill. Then we have heavy ordnance regeneration for some DR and some improved grenade and melee recharge rate. And yeah, overall, whenever I'm not doing like a pure boss fight, I just have this corrective measure on. Obviously, like in the first boss encounter of the dungeon, I swapped to Anarchy, and for the final, I swapped to Queenbreaker, but really everywhere else in the game, I just use this. And it works really well with some of the meta loadouts right now for like GMs and stuff like that. On Titan with bolt charges, you can kind of get away with using really anything for just like single target damage. So I find myself using something like the corrective measure, the Monarch, which is great for bolt charges and getting your barricade back. And then top slot, I just use a sidearm with chill clip or even a sniper chill clip. And that is because both of those weapons are anti-barrier. So those weapons this season can do all 3 champion types. And machine guns are overload also for this season. Another weapon loadout I find myself using a lot more in like seasonal activities is the Cycle Pomp with the Pugilist Rolling Storm, the role I love, and then whatever exotic primer you want, Outbreak, whatever it is. That is another great loadout for really anything in the game. And even in a GM, you just use the corrective measure for all the actor, you get up to a champion, you stun it however you need to, then simply just behind your barricade using the Monarch, I mean, they just simply die. Even on Warlock, it's become my go-to heavy for Geomag with the Delicate Tomb. Just use this in your heavy slot for Ackler. Then even for the handheld Supernova build with Verities, obviously this is by far the most ideal weapon to use with Demo. So yeah, really every build I use and every activity, it just finds its way into the heavy slot. And yeah, there's not really much more to say about the corrective measure. I mean, it just is about as perfect as it gets. And this season with Artifact, I mean, it's just truly God mode. Anyways, like usual, let me know what role you want on this down below. Well, thanks for watching. Catch you guys next time.